podcast. We have decided that we are gonna regularly do Thursday nights. We had like a mix-up with our D&D session, but we're pretty confident since we were playing D&D every Thursday that we can do the podcast every Thursday now. So we will be hitting you with that. It is Scuba here and Snorlaxicus.
Yeah, boy.
And we got a lot going on in this episode, guys. We've been trying to get this episode in for a while. Been watching a lot of stuff from 2018 and then thinking I missed something, so I went and watched that show hoping that mix up the things a little bit. But yeah, anyway, so we're hitting up the 2018 Anime Awards. Official
Anime Awards.
Giving out real medals.
Real medals made of real gold. Sparkling diamonds.
Yeah, with the Scuba and Snorlaxicus Deluxe. A lot of the people couldn't make it tonight to receive the awards, but we will send them via snail mail.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, let's get it going. Let me bring us up to see what we're starting off with. We're going best opening.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, best opening was a really, really tough one for me because there were so many phenomenal openings this year, or last year, I guess. My nominees are gonna go to Wodakoi, Tanigawa, Middle Management Blues, and the first season 3 opening for My Hero Academia, Odd Future by Overworld.
All three are dope songs, though.
And we work at a theater together, and all 3 of these were getting played probably more than they should have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I'm gonna have to give the gold medal to My Hero Academia's season 3 starter, Odd Future by Overworld. It was one that I felt really bad leaving out the other guys because they were phenomenal songs and ones I played way too much. But yeah, overall, the hype train was all about that My Hero Academia one.
Oh yeah, dude. I heard that song way more than I needed to.
But it was dope.
But
and
it
intro
was
sick. The animation was clean. I was all about that life.
It was definitely a banger, man. But oh man, like I hear that song in my nightmares now.
Yeah. All right, hit me with yours.
My best openings, I got a lot of nominees for this one because I absolutely loved quite a few anime openings this season.
Well, you are on that you're on that game that you play with that it has like a ton of anime openings.
Oh yeah, Osu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're like a anime opening ending connoisseur.
Oh yeah, dude. Like anytime a new anime comes out, that opening's on Osu, and you're just ready to play, my man.
Bang it out.
Banging, yeah. Let's see here. My nominees. The opening for Release the Spice, sick opening. Anime didn't seem that good, but the opening was pretty dope. Season 3 Overlord. Love Season 3 Overlord opening. Really good one there too. Megalobox opening. Yeah, that one was one where I didn't skip it every time I watched the next opening or the next episode. Only watched a few episodes of SSS Gridman after you told me that it fucking sucked at the end.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, kind of. We'll get. I think I'll get into that, but yeah.
Yeah. Still, I liked SSS Gridman's opening though. I thought it was pretty dope. I like Goblin Slayer's opening. That's another nominee. Rewrited's opening was really good too. And Darling in the Franxx is my last nominee. I'm gonna say my favorite opening of the years. It was really tough. It was a tie pretty much between season 3 Overlord and Darling in the Franxx, but ultimately I felt like Darling in the Franxx was my best opening of the year.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have expected that, because it's like when it came to openings last year, I just remember there were so many moments where you would just mention to me in passing, like, "Hey, dude, this anime is shit, but this opening's good," or "Hey, man, like this opening really dope." And like it was always like those shows where it was like, "Yeah, I didn't really watch the show a whole lot, but that opening," and I was like, "Yeah, nice." But yeah, I didn't know you had so many nominees for that. That was that decision like, did the gold medal, was it leagues ahead of everything else, or was it a close one?
It was definitely a close one. Like I said, it was almost a tie. It was about a tie. I enjoyed Overlord Season 3's opening about as much as I enjoyed the Darling in the Franxx opening. But I had Darling in the Franxx's opening, The Kiss of Death, on repeat for like a while. And I had it on Osu, so I was playing it on Osu too. The Overlord Season 3 opening, I really liked it, but it wasn't like my jam.
Yeah.
And this year, like Darling in the Franxx's opening was definitely like the one that I got super into.
It was really good. It was really good. It's cool that you could see that for something like that, despite, you know, the controversy with the show itself.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like, yeah, the show just, it was really good. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but the end, man.
Yeah. Well, we have a category that that might fit in somewhere. So, you know, we'll move on. We'll move on to best ending, and get there soon. I feel like we're starting off with the easy stuff. The hey, that's a good song, and then we're gonna get into some stuff that might make people upset, might make people really happy. So, let's see. Do you want to start off best ending?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move into best ending. It was a little bit less than best opening because most endings I just skip. But because it's always like, if the opening's dope, I'll listen to it. If the ending's dope, like I recognize it's dope, but whatever actions happen in the anime just makes me want to go on to the next episode like immediately if it's good. But best ending was, let's see, my nominees for that was the Megalobox ending. It's really good. That was one where I had it on repeat a few times. Again, Overlord Season 3's ending. I don't know what it is about Overlord, but their like openings and endings are just so good every season, man.
It's the vibe of that show that like the openings and the endings always have to fit like our style of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Asobi Asobase was one of my really good endings of the year. JoJo Part 5 was a really good ending. Funny thing, JoJo Part 5 ending, I didn't expect it to be Freaking You by Jodeci. I don't think anyone expected it to be Freaking You by Jodeci. Like, the number one requested ending song for that show was Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. And I was like,
would have been crazy too.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna get Gangster's Paradise by Coolio in an ending of JoJo, and it's gonna be sick. And then the first episode aired, and we got Freaking You by Jodeci, and I was like, still a banger, but a little disappointed.
But it's no roundabout.
Yeah, it's no roundabout though, man. Roundabout's sick. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. My gold medal for best ending is gonna have to go to Asobi Asobase's ending. That ending, man, like when I went into that show, the opening's all like cute and girly and stuff, and you're like, okay, cool. And then you get into the show, and it's like a raunchy comedy, and then the ending is like 3 girls singing death metal.
Oh, that was that show. See,
yeah.
I didn't know what song was in my head, and I was like, man, if that's getting the award, I'm a fool for not knowing it. And then I remember you going on that tangent about it, and like I think sending it to me, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, that one, it was so sick, man. Like, by far my favorite of the year.
Did you end up finishing that show?
I got pretty close. It's definitely one of those shows that's like, how do I put this? It's one of those shows where it doesn't really have a plot. It's just the 3 girls doing dumb shit the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And it's like funny, but there wasn't anything that really pulled me into wanting to watch more or any story. It was just kind of like, oh, this episode's funny, I'm gonna watch the next one, it might be as funny. And I haven't finished it, but I want to because I think the last few episodes are gonna be like hilarious.
Yeah, I remember the hook for that show was how exaggerated they made the faces, and I'm always a sucker for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. The faces are extraordinary, in my opinion.
Alright, my endings, oh man, I was on your list. I was like, man, did I also put that ending on here?
Damn, you're like, I didn't watch the show that much, but you know that ending.
But I remember you sending that, and I'm a big fan. It's actually my favorite as well. No, all right. So my nominees, I'm gonna give a quick another shout out to Wodakoi's ending.
Oh man,
as well as the opening. Both the only one to get both categories. I'm gonna go with How to Keep a Mummy as well as a nominee, and then Megaloboxes. I'm not gonna pronounce it, but those are the 3 I'll probably throw in the nominees, and I'm gonna have to give the medal,
the gold medal,
Snorlaxicus and
Snorlaxicus and Scuba's seal of approval
to Megalobox's ending.
Oh yeah, that one's fire, man.
It's cool because I was really, really a big fan of that song, and like the way that the ending tied with it always said "not dead yet" at the end of the episode on the bottom right, and then it would just go right into that jam.
Yeah.
And that was like really one of the main reasons I absolutely adored that show this season or this year, man. So yeah, I kind of like the My Hero thing. I had to sit down and realize how much I actually listened to that song, and
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you had How to Keep a Mummy on there. Is that like ending fire as fuck?
It's not fire. It was just like, I don't know. I think that show was super, super wholesome and adorable. So like every time that ending hit, it was just, I don't know, just yeah, wholesome as fuck.
All right.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that in there.
Fair enough.
It wasn't one I banged out all the time, but yeah, it was good. All right, what are we jumping into next? Soundtrack?
Yeah, best soundtrack next.
All right, so my personal nominees. Is that how we should do it? Like, I'll start off this one, you end, then start the next one, and just keep on that.
Yeah, we
Snake
can do
style?
it. We can do it that way.
Okay. So, my nominees are Reincarnated as a Slime, Zombieland Saga, SSSS Gridman, and Devilman Crybaby.
Nice.
And actually, I think I'm gonna give it to Reincarnated as a Slime.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
think that I remember specifically in the first couple of episodes because I was thinking to myself, not another isekai, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like
what I think
everyone
of
does.
every season, man. I'm just like, yo. Come
Yeah.
on.
And then he gets transported to another world, and let's see how this one goes and how much it's like every single one of them. But then this one wasn't like the other ones, and the soundtrack overall, just like the mood that it set and the immersion that it gave you with the pacing, I really really liked it. And it was definitely, when I looked at all of the other options, like, yes, Devilman was such a fitting soundtrack for the style that they were going for. Slime really killed it.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that. It was a it was a really good soundtrack. They had like a lot of like orchestra numbers
Yeah,
where it was just like super fantasy setting, and I thought it was really sick.
and just like really cheerful melodies as little slime boys jumping around trying to level up and shit.
Yeah, dude. Eating plants,
Trying to get that bread.
out here crunching rocks. So all that dude did was eat plants and crunch rocks for like 20 minutes.
And it was great.
And it was great. Yeah, that's the thing.
That mineral.
Get that mineral. All right, so let's see here. Let me come look at what I had down for my best soundtrack. All right. So my nominees for the best soundtrack were the Devilman soundtrack. That soundtrack was insane, and that one perfectly set the mood of the show it was with too. Zombieland soundtrack, because I was never into idol anime, and I really, really dislike idol anime. But that soundtrack, the opening, the ending, and the songs like in between, soundtrack is sick, man. The Beatless Final Stage soundtrack, I mean, it was an anime that I might be wrong on this, but I think it was produced by the same company that made like the Sound Voltex games and things like that. So it's got all of these crazy songs in that. It goes from like electronic music to like orchestra, like every other episode. The show isn't that good, but the soundtrack was phenomenal. And then Fate Extra, Last Encore, had some pretty good songs in that soundtrack. My winner, it is really tough. Like, between these two, either one could have gold or silver. Beatless Final Stage for me was my gold, because I'm just super into electronic, like Japanese music, because I play Osu, I play rhythm games. So like I love songs that are in an anime that sound like they've been pulled directly out of one of the rhythm games I play. I just think that's sick. Devilman was my silver, really close to gold, because Devilman soundtrack, especially like Devilman no Ura, the fucking the fucking meme song from that anime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All of it, that was one where it perfectly set the mood. That was one where it was really enjoyable to listen to the entire soundtrack. The opening wasn't that bad. But I just really identified more with Beatless Final Stages soundtrack.
It's just wild that that would be the best soundtrack, but it couldn't carry the whole team and be a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, that show is not that good, man. Hate to say it, but yeah,
That's just how the cookie crumbles,
that's
man.
just how the cookie crumbles, man. Sometimes you get a great show that uses generic sounds and music that you could find in any other show. Sometimes you get a show that the story is like a literal dumpster fire, but the soundtrack's just sick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time we hop into the very, very intense awards.
Oh yeah, we're getting into the serious territory
No.
now.
Those were pretty easygoing, you know, but we about to hop into the best boy,
Yeah.
and I will let you start that off.
All right. Let's see here what I got. All right. So my best boy nominees, I had to have Goblin Slayer on there, my man. I love Goblin Slayer. Like the anime, I will say the anime is really watered down in terms of the content, but Goblin Slayer isn't a character that you're supposed to like for character development. He's a character you like because he looks like the main character of a Dark Souls game and he's just fucking shit up the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I like the I love the red eye thing they had going on.
oh yeah, that was sick too. It really added to like his mental state in that whole show, in my opinion, because that dude was just crazy.
Yeah.
Other nominee I had for best boy was Kotaro Tatsumi, the producer from Zombieland Saga.
Yes.
His voice actor is credited in so many different animes, and every single time he uses like the best combination of broken English and Japanese, like hyper emphasis that I've ever seen in my life. Like that dude's hilarious. He had that episode in Zombieland where he was yodeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo.
Nice bird.
Yeah, nice bird. He's
he added so much personality to that show, man.
Yeah, for real. That's why I had him on one of my nominees there. Is he just really helped carry the show. Another nominee I had was Gearless Joe. That dude is literally like if you made if you turned like Rocky tan and slapped him in like a semi post-apocalyptic future. It's like Mad Max, but where the focus is boxing and not like survival. Gearless Joe, yeah, that dude, he's sick. Loved him. Other nominee, Narantia from JoJo Part 5.
Oh yeah.
I love Narantia. I like Narantia a lot. He's my favorite character in JoJo for sure. In all of JoJo, he just like that dude. His personality and my personality are like super similar. And whenever I find a character like that, it's going on the nominee list.
You did say that that this is your favorite JoJo squad, period, right?
Oh yeah, Part 5 is my favorite squad, period. Yeah, they're all super cool.
Yeah.
But I think Narantia is my favorite out of all of them. Next nominee was Akira Fudo from Devilman. He's pretty sick. I didn't like him in the first episode because he was like a bitch. But I definitely liked him later on. He had a lot of character development and how he handled like that whole situation in the show. It really showed like what his thought process was behind like what he had acquired and how it was affecting his life. Uh, Definitely a good character that helped carry the show, in my opinion. But out of all of those nominees, I thought best boy this season was Gearless Joe. Yeah. Gearless Joe, man, like, there's something to admire about that dude because he just, like, all he wants to do is box. That's literally all the dude wants to do. He just wants to get in the ring and have people take him serious. And I don't know, man. His personality is super sick, and he's got the skills to match it, so that dude's getting my gold medal. I don't even think it was close. Like, the other people I like, but Gearless Joe, like, I might not have Megalobox as, like, one of the greatest anime of all time, but Gearless Joe is probably one of the best main characters I've ever seen.
Well, it was great because, like, yeah, we did get to see the storylines with the other boxers, but the focus was Joe doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And with the grainy vibe, or the grainy thing that they purposely did to where it looked like the older shows, I thought it was really cool. Like, he reminded me so much of Spike and like Mugen, just that careless attitude.
Yeah, man.
He was awesome, and the look, like the character design is sweet, man.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that completely.
That is a solid list, though.
Yeah, who you got for best boy?
All right, so my nominees. I got Ogata from Golden Kamuy.
All right.
I got Ogata for me was a really interesting character because he started off with this whole everyone in Golden Kamuy. Golden Kamuy is such a hard show to talk about and make sense of it. Every single character has so much personality, and everyone does things the way they would do it, if that makes sense. Like, they don't really follow tropes. They are, each person has their own thing going on, and it's not revolving around the main character. Like, if they want to do something, they will do it even if it strays from being in the squad or whatever. So Ogata's whole careless attitude was really interesting to me, and it was so cool seeing him in the squad, seeing him connect with everybody, and seeing how they're all like cheerful and happy and wanting to eat food together. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll eat food, but I'm not gonna be cheery and happy." Like, I really thought that dude was awesome.
Yeah, and, I haven't seen that show, but you definitely talk about it, and you talk about him in a way that makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, I love that show just because there's so many options for people to attach themselves to other characters, and that's my favorite thing about anime, is comparing my favorites with other people's favorites and seeing how it goes. But yeah, so moving on. I also have Nefuji from Wotakoi. He's like the main dude, I guess. The show's basically just about these otakus that all work together and they go on double dates and stuff, but it's a super, super relatable. And out of every single character on my nominees, he's by far the most relatable character. So I had to throw him on there. But I had to throw Tatsumi from Zombieland because it would have been such a shame if I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I had Rio from Devilman because we just need to have Devilman on every single category, and it's impossible not to.
Crazy.
I picked a different character.
Crazy how me and you, our favorite characters in that show, are like literally So different. It's like the Guts and Griffith thing, man.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. Was how you are so heavily on that Guts train, and I follow Griffith until the end, and then to see you so much about Akira and me following Rio, and like seeing the similarities between the series is like they are kind of fitting the exact same roles, you know?
Yeah. Plus your boys got that old dub line. The
Oh yeah.
the hey, can I come in your house? I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Golden.
Golden.
Also I have Bakugo from My Hero Academia, and I'm gonna hit the gold medal real quick, and if you know anything about me at all, you know that this was no contest.
Oh
and
yeah.
Bakugo is gonna get the gold medal. I think this year or last year, man, cannot get in that 2019 vibe. But 2018 was when I started watching My Hero Academia, and I guess sort of decided to get into anime more heavily. And I remember my friend Jeremy showing me the show, and he was talking about Bakugo and all of the characters in the show. And he was like, yeah, this guy has explosions, and he has grenades in his costume. And I looked him dead in the eyes, and I was like, yo, I don't know what this dude's got going on, and I don't care, but that description, that's going to be my favorite character. And it's been such an awesome journey to, before the show started, pick this guy, call him my favorite, and see his development up until now, like the end of season 3, where things got so crazy. But yeah, I gotta follow Bakugo until the end. He's in my top 3 favorite characters of all time in anime ever. Not much else to say.
Yeah, you definitely you love that Bakugo train, man. You're all about that. You like Bakugo more than Griffith?
I would say my top 3. My number 1 is Spike from Bebop. Number 2, I would say number 2 is Griffith, and then number 3 would be Bakugo.
Dope.
Yeah, but I don't know if any character will ever break into those top 3.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's real hard when you got dudes that you really love. It's hard to ever replicate that feeling with another character.
For sure. But then you pipe up in another anime, and you're like you getting me on that Durarara train.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, these characters are fucking sweet, dude. And then but yeah, this is about 2018. This is about 2018. Let me hop into the best girl category, because this one kind of excites me more. As far as my favorite goes. So my nominees, I got Narumi from Wotakoi. Wait, yeah, okay, never mind. Narumi from Wotakoi. I thought we skipped over your best boy, and I was like, I'm just gonna go through the. But, we got Narumi from Wotakoi. She is the girl that ends up getting with the dude I had in the best boy category. I think that she was really sweet, really cute. Had a lot of extreme personality when everyone else was kind of very chilled and relaxed, and it was really cool. I'm gonna say Rika from SSSS Gridman. I kind of want to say that there's a reason other than those thighs, but
them thighs, boy.
there's not another reason. That's it. The thighs. That's it.
Just thick with a triple C.
crazy. Had me like, man, even if this show doesn't go anywhere and it's just her standing in various poses, I'm, I'm signing up, dude. I'm signing up.
Hell
So
yeah.
I got Ty from Zombieland. She is the character that just is a zombie, and it was and also voiced by Sailor Moon, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
voice actress for Sailor Moon. I don't know her name off the top of my head. Let me go look it up. Yeah, Kotono Mitsuishi. She has a ton of voice acting roles. And that was the thing in that show that killed me, was that they got this veteran, and that's part of the joke as to why she's a zombie, just a zombie, is they got this veteran voice actor to come to the show to voice a character, and all she does the entire time is make grunting noises and like stupid sounds to sound like a zombie instead of actually having like vocal lines.
Yeah.
And I
And
thought
like
that was what?
thinking about all of the like other characters that Sailor Moon's voice actress would have fit like really well. But it just made it so much better that she was just going around groaning like a zombie the whole time.
Yeah, dude.
Big fan.
Huge fan. They did
Another
that one right.
Oh, definitely. Another nominee is Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx. I thought that it was love at first sight. Not with the show, but with Ichigo. And got Miki from Devilman because I got to keep it going. And yeah, she was also great. She, I was unsure about her in the beginning, and then her character development. That's what's so. Oh man, we'll get into the show as a whole later, but like the fact that that show was 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think
10
so.
episodes, and she had so much character development, dude, that even though the animation was the way that it was, I still really loved that character. But the gold medal is gonna go to Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx. I think it's the only thing that I can give Darling in the Franxx any credit for. That's my number one waifu. Might take that one to the grave.
Yeah, take it to the grave.
She is everything I wanted in an anime character. I remember before watching Darling in the Franxx, I was like, every anime YouTuber and anime podcast, they're always talking about how many waifus that they are like all about, you know, like, oh, this strong waifu potential here. And I was like, man, it's just a girl in a cartoon. But then I watched Darling in the Franxx, and I was like, I see it. It opened my eye, and I was like, this is it. This is the chosen one.
Opened your eyes to the land of the waifus.
The waifu land. Thought about buying a pillow.
Now it's like,
Fuck no, dude.
That's one thing I will never stoop that low as being an anime fan, is I will never buy a fucking body pillow.
Yeah, I feel like if I didn't buy now, then
I feel like you've just like, when that happens, you just cross over into like territory you should never be crossing over into, and there's no way to come back. Like,
yeah.
If you tell anybody that you own like a lewd body pillow, they're like, dog, you're the dude that owns body pillows from now on to everyone you ever talk to, because they're gonna know.
Oh yeah, dude. I have a friend. I'm not gonna name him here, but he was showing me a present he received from a friend, and he was like, "Do you want these, dude?" And I looked down, and he has 2 mouse pads that are like anime ass and then the other one was anime titties, and it was like so extreme. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, nah, dude, I'm good. And he was like, okay, then I think I'm just gonna throw these away. I was like, fair enough, man, because that's gonna be a really weird thing. Really weird thing to have to explain to a friend, even if you're like, it was a joke gift.
Yeah.
Like, no, it wasn't, dude. So, but yeah, getting a pillow, like that's a tough thing to explain to somebody, you know?
Yeah.
Like even if I was friends with somebody for a long time and they hit me with that, I wouldn't be able to look at them the same no matter how hard I wanted to be judgment free. Like, I was like, man, you really went all out and got that pillow? Cool.
No,
And
no
yes,
matter
that-
how much, no matter how much you wanted to be the Planet Fitness of anime.
that filthy Frank quote is spot on in the chat.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, all right. Let's segue into your best girls.
into my best girl. All right, I didn't have as many. It's only shy by one, I'd say. But my nominees for best girl were first one was Saki Nikaido from Zombieland. I really love. Not really the tsundere characters, but I really love the characters that are like, they're just assholes at all times, but like it's justified, right? Like my whole, give me a second. There's a train going by my house right now, and I don't want this loud.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's kind of in the background. I think you're good.
Okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, I like characters that are like assholes, but they're assholes for a reason, and they carry it with like confidence in their ability as like who they are. Like the one reason I didn't like Bakugo a lot was because like I felt like he was an asshole for like little to no reason at first. And like it got explained later, but I just hated the dude at day one and was just like, this guy doesn't have to be like this. Like at least Saki, she actually like cares about her friends, right? But she's also like an asshole, and I like that. You know, like she was the leader of a biker gang. Like that's sick, man. I like that.
Yeah, dude, her backstory episode was so good.
Yeah. Another nominee I had was Ona Shinkan. She's the priestess from Goblin Slayer. I'm gonna come out with it. She doesn't have a lot of character development, but her character design is something I like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's mostly why I liked her. It was just her character design mostly. I had 02 as a nomination from Darling in the Franxx. I thought she was a cool character from day one. I was definitely on the 02 side of things in the great war of waifus between 02 and Ichigo.
That was just like Griffith and Guts.
Yeah, it was just like Griffith and Guts, but like ass and titties.
Yeah.
Yeah, 02 is the nominee I had. Miko from Devilman was really cool. She was the other Miki. I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot. She was a really cool looking character. And especially like later on, toward the end, she was insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my gold medal has to go to Saki. She's one of those characters that, like you said, she's one of those characters where like it's gonna take a while for me to find a character that tops her in the best girl category. Just really like her and how she like moves along the story of Zombieland, and how she's always like, "Oh man, I can't believe I've been dead for so long. My Tamagotchi's probably dead. And then someone will be like, Tamagotchi? That's so old. And she's like, the fuck you just say to me?
Dude, plus she, I'm not really like the guy that gets too into the outfits of the show, but she had a phenomenal set of outfits. Like she had like her pajamas. I remember like a noteworthy thing was that she had the dog on her like long sweater on her pajamas. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
And then like they had like that specific outfit in her backstory episode.
Yeah, they did. Dude, the red like trench coat outfit she has on that show.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. One of my favorite outfits.
Yeah. Awesome character design. I remember from the first episode I was like, this is going to be a sweet character. And I knew that I would like her because I kind of assumed at first she was going to go down that Bakugo route. But yeah, she really found her own place in that trope, I guess, so to speak, where she did her own thing and wasn't really that big of an asshole. Like she was an asshole when she needed to be to like prove a point. And it always seemed like it fit instead of Bakugo being like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you. Like, fuck okay, your mom. Dude. Fuck your dad. Fuck everyone you've ever known. Like, I'm powerful.
I'm just trying to pass this exam, dude. No, fuck you, dude. All right.
He's like, hey, can I borrow your notes? Yeah, here you go. Fucking blows up and throws them out the window.
In the first episode, he was like, yeah, you could have a better chance of getting a superpower or a quirk if you just killed yourself.
Just jump off. He was like, yo, jump off the roof and kill yourself, and maybe you'll be reborn with a quirk. And fuck you.
Thanks, Bakugo. See you tomorrow. Yeah, Saki very far from that, and I'm happy that it went that way. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Is it you start? Yeah, we're gonna skip off best anime and worst anime until the very end. We'll hop into best moment. Yeah. And I think you start that off.
Do I? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. Let's see here. Best moment. Oh, this is one I didn't write anything down for because I think it's just literally one scene. I have one gold that was best moment this year.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
My gold and the only nominee in this category was the fight at the end of the My Hero Academia movie.
Just the whole fight in general?
The whole fight in general was sick, but the best part is the synchronized battling that Deku and All Might do.
Yeah.
Like, and and they say, they play, You Say Run during it too.
Right.
It's just like they knew that the hypest song in the series needed to go at the hypest moment of the movie. To me, what?
You know that they were like sitting at a table and they were like, okay, dude, for this like really hype scene at the end, like what could we play like a different song, like anything? And then they were like, no, dude, is that even a fucking question? Yeah. And then they're like, play You Say Run, and then everyone else was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, this man deserves a promotion. Yeah, dude.
The guy like slowly raises his hand and he's like, how about we just play You Say Run like we do every single episode? You know? Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's by far for me the best moment. I was thinking about putting in United States of Smash, but here's the thing with that is that I read it in the manga. And when I watched it in the anime, it was hype, but it wasn't as hype to me as it was to everyone else because I had already read it. So all of my hype was like when I first read it, I was like, "Oh shit, this is sick." And then they animated it and I was like, "Yo, this is sick," but like the the last fight in the My Hero Academia movie, like there was no way I could have spoiled it for myself. I was just thrown into that and it was insane.
Yeah, that was next level. Plus, we were in a packed theater with people also hyped, and like, I've never really actually had that kind of an experience, so it was sweet. Um, I think I have a couple nominees. I'm having trouble finding it. Okay, so I got my nominees are the Bakugo and Deku fight at the end of season 3 of My Hero Academia. A little bit of bias there, but it's all good.
Oh shit, yeah.
Um,
We should also probably point out that this is kind of spoiler territory.
yeah.
I completely
Well, I mean,
forgot to
like,
mention that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, up to this point, I've been kind of trying to not go too far into it, but with best moment, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
best moments definitely
I,
the spoily section.
I'm not gonna give I'm not gonna give too much info on it exactly, but yeah, that's on there. We got Hanebato's final badminton match. Um, it was pretty sweet because it was like you have this whole team of people playing badminton, and like the two main characters are facing off to the point where like eventually they face each other in the like grand tournament or whatever is going on, and it's pretty cool because like you're not at some points of it you're like I'm not actually sure what's going to happen here, and if they're opening it up to another season, because I don't know anyone that was talking about that show,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's pretty good.
Even
And
me,
then
a dude that's into like sports anime kind of, like I like Kuroko's basketball and like Free was okay. Even me, you hit me with like, yo, you watched Hane Bado? And I was like, nah, what's that? You're like, it's a badminton anime. And I was like, what the fuck?
yeah, and it was like I was weighing out all of the shit from 2018, and I was like, what do I want to watch for the anime awards so that I have more stuff, because I didn't start like watching things seasonal until like summer, I guess. But yeah, it's about summer, and I just randomly brought up that badminton one, and I was like, I think I could get hyped for 12 episodes about badminton. That sounds dope. And yeah, it ended well. It wasn't an overall good score for me, but it was good. That final match was hype enough to be in the nominees, anyways. And then of course the final 2 episodes of Devilman. I won't actually go into any spoilers about that because they were just great. That was just perfection in 2 episodes, and I'll leave it at that. But the winner is the end of the season 3 of My Hero Academia fight between Bakugo and Deku.
Was a sick fight.
It was sweet just because of the development in the fight, and yeah, I won't go too much more into that. I'll leave it at that. So if you know, then hell yeah. If you don't, then you gotta check out My Hero Academia, dude.
Oh yeah.
Watch that show.
That shows the next that shows the next Dragon Ball Z, dog.
Definitely. Um Biggest disappointment. So this was kind of one we added last minute, and it's just kind of something. It's a anime that we were excited for that didn't end up being as dope as we wanted it to be. And yeah, my nominees, I've got Goblin Slayer. This is where I feel like the chat and comments could get a little weird because I know how much everyone really liked Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
I've got Darling in the Franxx.
Which
I
don't blame you on Goblin Slayer, because they really didn't, in my opinion, they didn't do it justice to the manga.
Yeah, I bought Snorlaxicus the first volume, and I checked it out when I got it, and I was like, man, because here's the thing with Goblin Slayer is Snorlaxicus was he was telling me about how the show was about to air, and he had read the manga pretty far, right?
Yeah, I got up to Sword Maiden.
And he was like, dude, this show is about to be crazy. And I remember the reaction from people when the first episode aired, which I don't really care. Like, I'm a big Berserk fan and loved Devilman and stuff, so I wasn't that affected by it. I do think that they were trying a little too hard to get the attention, but I mean, I guess they ended up getting the attention ultimately, so I suppose they win there. But yeah, I didn't like that show. Not just because I expected more than him killing goblins like everyone's saying, but I just felt like it was overhyped and nothing really happened. Like, I didn't feel like there was as much development between the party as there could have been. I didn't feel like Goblin Slayer was okay. I can't really flack on Goblin Slayer that much because he's cool, but like it's kind of like a funny cool because he just is brutally honest in 3 words or less every time he responds.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, that's all I'll really say on Goblin Slayer. I feel like we could probably have a whole podcast where we talk about that show. The other nominees, I have Attack on Titan Season 3 and Darling in the Franxx. And I'm gonna give the gold medal to Attack on Titan Season 3. And I know that that's a season that a lot of people were excited about. The direction that the show was taking was very different from Season 1 and Season 2. But Season 2 was really, really cool. And definitely my favorite. But I also love Reiner. Like, that's one of my top 10 favorite characters. And I didn't see enough of him, and I thought that the storyline, I didn't care about Historia, I didn't care about like half of the things going on. I thought Kenny was cool, but that was kind of it. Like, we got more Levi, and that was cool, but yeah, I just thought the season was all over the place, and hopefully part 2 of Season 3 coming up next season, I think, is gonna do better. But it's definitely got to be my biggest disappointment, even over Darling in the Franxx and everything that happened there. But I wouldn't give the gold medal to Darling in the Franxx because you had to practically beg me to watch that show.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was like, oh, Darling in the Franxx is gonna be the coolest shit ever.
Yeah,
because
dude.
I was not about it, and then I was about it, and then I wasn't about it, and then it was a disappointment nominee, but it didn't get the gold medal. Go you. Attack on Titan Season 3 takes the cake.
Yeah, man. Attack on Titan, that's one of those shows where I watched the first season, and then after that I was just like, it hasn't pulled me in enough to keep watching. Like, it's not a bad show, but I hate when a show ends a season on a major cliffhanger, and that show did that, and I was just like, I'm not interested in season 2 now, because like by the time season 2 comes out, all of my interest in that cliffhanger is almost gone.
Right. Yeah,
So
because
like,
it was a huge amount of time. Like, I watched that show's first season when I was like 19, I think.
yeah,
So like 5 years ago.
yeah,
And then season 2
ridiculous.
was like kind of recently, so it's like, what the fuck, dude? I understand that there were issues or whatever, but yeah, it took me a while to be like, I kind of want to care about Attack on Titan again, and
Yeah.
then yeah, stuck with it. So that's it for biggest disappointment for me.
Yeah, my biggest disappointments, I got two nominees. The first nominee is Uzumade. That show, when I read
Oh yeah.
when I read the description for this show, right? The description literally said that it was about a maid that falls in love with the girl she takes care of. The issue I had was the girl was like 10. So, looking at that, I said, okay, maybe it's like a motherly love kind of thing, and it's not like a romance. So I watched the first episode, and I was like, this is okay. I'm going to do the 3-episode rule where after 3 episodes, I'm going to drop it.
Yeah.
The second and third episode got wildly weird, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But I kept wanting to watch more. I wanted to see how grossly, like, in-depth this show got. And it got way worse, man. So, like, I think I gave it, like, a 3 out of 10. And I almost never give a show below, like, a 5.
Yeah.
But this show, it was just, like, it was funny. But it's like when you laugh at a really fucked up joke and you're like, oh man, that was funny. I feel bad for laughing at that, but that was funny. That was the feeling I had the entire show.
So
all right.
Here's my question. Was that show just simply trying to push the limits? Or like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about this show, so
I don't know. I don't think I was trying to push the limits too much, because there are already shows out that have like incest vibes to them, or shows where it's like pandering to a younger character. So that's already existent in this media. But my issue was that it was almost as if they were trying to normalize it by having the pedophilic predator being a female from the Japanese military working as a maid, and they were like, it's okay because she's a female and it's Yuri. And I was just kind of like, nah, I don't, it's not okay though. And it was like, the reason why I have that on my nominees for biggest disappointment is because I went into the show with just the banner on my anime list with no description and thought it was going to be a hilarious comedy, and it ended up being a pretty good comedy, but like I said, I was just so disappointed because it was like, it was not the direction I was expecting it to go, and I just had some like moral issues with it. So that's why I have it on my nominees. However, the second nominee is going to be the one that takes the gold medal, which was Darling in the Franxx. And
nice.
I'm going to say this right now. This is major spoiler territory. So if you guys haven't seen the show, mute the podcast for now. And if you're watching on the VOD, just like skip ahead a bit. I'll probably have something in the comments that's like where you can skip ahead when I'm done talking about this. But Darling in the Franxx was a show where I got super hype. This show was amazing. It was by Studio Trigger. The character development was insane. I loved the action in it, even though like the major plot point was like young adults piloting mechs in doggy style, pretty much. I accepted all of that. I was like, you know what? It's okay. That's okay. Everything's fine because the story's good, the music's good, the art's good, the character development's good. All of that's great. Then, randomly, in the last 5 or 6 episodes, aliens show up. Literally, show up out of nowhere. These aliens show up. They mess everything up. And they were apparently the big bad dude all along. Which I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of crazy. I don't like the direction this is going in because this is just out of nowhere. I don't know how I feel about this. The next few episodes redeemed it. They redeemed it for me. It was like, okay, they're battling these aliens. This stuff happens. Stuff happens to Zero Two. Blah 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 blah. She becomes like a motionless basket case. Can't really talk. Can't do anything. That's all fine. Then the second to last episode happens where the main character decides, oh, my girlfriend Zero Two, her soul is in space in the mech that we were piloting that launched off the Earth to chase the aliens without her in it. So I'm going to go to space and get in the mech so we could battle these dudes at the end of it, right? And I'm like, okay, this is okay. This is way, way out there. Something that I'm not completely okay with, but as long as the end of the show is good, as long as everything wraps up fine and they have an explanation for all of this, everything's going to be good. They get into space. What happens? The big mech turns into Zero Two. It's like a hybrid human of Zero Two and the mech. It is atrocious. It is like nightmare fuel to me. And they end the season with them fighting the dudes, them dying, and then it skipping into the future hundreds of years or whatever, and then that's the end of the show. That was so dumb, man. Like,
which I had been blaming Trigger this whole time, but I guess at one of their panels at a convention, they apologized for the end of Darling in the Franxx and said that it was A1 Pictures that basically took over for all of those last episodes and just did some shit that they didn't want to do. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fair enough. SSSS Gridman was good, so like, okay, but also, what the fuck, dude? That show had me hooked for 24 episodes, and it had some ups and it had some downs. But then you had that mech, Zero Two as a mech, and it sucked for you because you already owned a Zero Two shirt. You can't go back now, dude.
I can't go. Yeah, dude, I went to an anime convention before that episode aired and was like, sick. I like Zero Two. There were so many Zero Two cosplayers there. It was awesome, man. And then this happened, and then I immediately was just like, why does this show exist? Why did they do this? I can't believe it. That show, if it would have ended well, would have made it into my nominations for the best anime of the year. But nah, yeah. Last 5 episodes, they gotta go fuck it all up, man. I hate that.
I have never been so torn about a show because honestly, the character development was incredible. I loved Jerome. I loved everything that you had going on between like Gore. There were so many characters and they were able to keep up with them really well. And 24 episodes was such a good amount of time for the show. And all I needed was a semi-regular ending where they just had like a pretty good fight. And then you could have still had the same ending where you have like them as older people and like minus the whole like, they're in the galaxy whatever shit. That was crazy. But the main character in Zero Two. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it being your biggest disappointment. Like I said, you kind of got me into the show when I wasn't feeling the concept at all. And I loved the way the mechs looked. I loved the characters and stuff. But like, I couldn't give it biggest disappointment because like I wasn't hyped about it. You were on board from like when episode 3 aired or so, right?
Yeah.
You hopped into the show and you were like, dude. Every single week he was like, dude, watch Darling in the Franxx. And I didn't even start watching it until the final episode aired. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll hop on this. And was just I think I busted it out in like a week, and I was like, dude, what?
I remember coming into work the day that she turned into a mech and being like, I have no reason to live.
Yeah, you're like, I'm so sorry that I did the show to you, dude, because some crazy shit happened.
Yeah, and I kind of had an idea, not to linger on this for too long, but I kind of had an idea that something was up, because if you watch the little specials that they put out with the director of the show, he made a comment in the second special where he said, I know everyone's not gonna like how this show ends, but I just wanted to make it as best as I could in my vision of how it ended, even though we had some hurdles or something like that. And I kind of felt for the dude, because it's like, I knew that dude pretty much couldn't do anything about how it ended, and he was just like kind of taking the blame for it, even though that's not how he wanted it to end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's enough about Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, I could talk for hours on that show, dude. The good and the bad.
Well, now we're about to get into more bad.
Ultra
you have
bad.
to go from that tangent on biggest disappointment to the worst anime.
Yeah.
Take it away, dude.
Oh, man. I'm gonna be real with you. One of the nominees for this, I gave Uzumate a 3 out of 10. It's gonna be one of the nominees on this list, alright?
Yeah.
I already talked about that, but the other nominee I had was My Sister, My Rider, and I think that this show, or last year, I'm also in fucking 2018 for some reason. I think this show last year was universally known as being the atrocity of the year. The like big giant stain on anime, because it got to the point to where the people who made the show, the artists in the show, ended up putting in the credits, hidden in the credits by someone's name, we're incredibly sorry about the direction this show went. They just put it right beside someone's name so no one could see it other than like people who paid attention.
Man.
So it was like, you knew that this show was bad. Not only that, it's a concept that's been done for a long time. First of all, before I get too much into it, let me just say that My Sister, My Rider won the gold medal for me, or the bronze medal, or the tin medal, or whatever the lowest tier or form of medal is that you can possibly come up with for a worst. It's probably a tier below that. This show was ridiculously bad in my opinion. It was like, it was the same idea that's been used 1,000 times. It was, you could argue a harem because there were like multiple female characters that were all about the main character. It was incest pandering. Like, it was just all of these bad ideas put together. The writing was horrible. The worst thing of it all, though, is it had some of the most atrocious art I have ever seen in my life. People think
you sent me the picture of the chick that just didn't have her face attached, right?
Yeah, dude.
What was it?
It was her. It was her mouth.
Was just not on.
Yeah, like there were a few frames in. I think it was a little longer than a few frames. In one of the animations where her mouth just floated off by her face and was speaking not attached to her body. Like, the artists, I feel sorry, man, because those artists, like, I know that they can do better because the studio that made that, let me see here. I can't think of their name, so I'm gonna look it up really quickly. But the studio that made that, which was Studio Naz, they have made shows that have really good animation. And I just feel sorry for the artists because I feel like they were rushed. Like, the studio just rushed those dudes to get this done, so there were errors everywhere. There were characters with misproportions. There were characters that didn't have their face attached to their model. There were characters who had, like, extremely long necks just randomly. And it was like, these dudes were getting worked.
It's like a video game glitch while you're watching a show.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was one of those things where it was almost bad enough to be good, but it wasn't. It was just bad. And it's like the creators knew that because on countless occasions they kept saying, like, oh, we've done it now, or leaving hidden messages in, like, the credits. And it's like, when you have a staff that cares so little about the project because they're getting rushed that they just, like, leave messages in the credits saying that they're sorry because their, like, director's an idiot, then, like, that show's gonna be horrible. And it was like, nothing about that show could save it, man. The music was bad, the art was bad, the writing was horrible, and the genre was just really stupid, man. Like, it was a comedy, a romance, and an ecchi, and it didn't live up to any of those, except maybe ecchi, but then it didn't matter because it was poorly drawn. So, God, that show, horrible. Hated it. That's the one. That's the iron, the bronze, tin, garbage. It's the garbage metal.
Did you give it a 1?
I think I gave it a 1. Yeah, I either gave it a 1 or a 2. It may be one of the only shows I've ever given a 1. Now that I think about it,
man,
it was just like you could play like 10 minutes of ambient music on a still image of, like, a tree, and I would enjoy that more than I enjoyed that fucking anime.
That is wild. I don't know if my worst anime was that bad, but still pretty bad. I'm not gonna give nominees. I didn't watch a whole lot of garbage. I'm even though I'm completely open to that. I'm all about, like, The Room and stuff. But
Oh man, I'm Danny DeVito. I'm the garbage man, dude. I sift through the garbage to find the gems.
I think I'm more upset if a show is average than if it's just bad.
Yeah, because when it's bad, it's like there's some laughable moments that, like, kind of make it good.
Plus, having the channel, it's like, it's always open that you can be like, well, I'm glad I can just burn through this so that I can talk about it on the channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna give worst anime to Angels of Death.
Yeah.
Which, dude, alright. I don't really fucking know why everyone loved this show. I tried to look into why everyone enjoyed it, and I heard the dub, and the dub was okay. The voice of Bakugo is the voice of the dude in Japanese. The voice of Bakugo does the guy Zack, the guy in the bandages, and dude, he really fucked up. Like, he really fucked up. I've shown maybe, like, 10 people just how ridiculously bad that shit was. Like, he in the first episode, he's chasing around this girl, and she's so generic, unbelievably generic. And like, he has this laugh. I can't mimic it.
It's like, it's like some kind of fucking, like, hybrid between like a fucking dying cat and Waluigi.
Yeah, and it's over and over and over the entire episode, and many times later in the series. And the intro was okay, but every single other thing was bad. The chick had this thing going on where, okay, the basis is that they are locked in this building and they wake up in there, and he originally starts to kill her, but then he stops because she decides that she wants to die. And he's like, well, it's not fun if like you want to die. And I was like, whoa, edge alert, edge alert. And yeah, like the whole rest of the show is just he's like, I'll kill you if you help me get out of here because you're smart and I'm not very smart. And she's like, okay, dope. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like the whole show, they're on that shit where she's just like, all of a sudden in the middle of the building, she'll just be like, hey dude, will you kill me? And he's like, nah, but we gotta get out of here first. And she's like, nah, but I just want to die. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this show. The character designs are sweet. I think the game sounds really cool. It's based on a game, but just garbage, dude. Just absolute garbage. And it kind of had that Goblin Slayer cult following when it was aired. And yeah, I just didn't get it, man. I thought the animation was really bad. I thought everything just looked ugly. I think every character acted so stupid edgy, just like there was like someone else that was like, oh, why are you gonna let him kill you when it could be me? And then another scientist that was obsessed with her the main character's eyes and would just go around being like, oh, I love your eyes, let me have your eyes. And I'm like, this is that dumb anime shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything. Like, I can't stress how little I cared. And I just got through the whole show because I wanted to talk about how bad it was. And I knew that there was just gonna be more bad, and it never stopped. So that's it. Angels of Death, atrocious. No dudes' mouths were falling off of their face, but it was still bad. It was still bad. When you hit a certain but to frame it, Tokyo Ghoul is too edgy for me. So this was definitely too edgy for me.
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul's one of those shows I don't mess with, man. There's a few shows I don't mess with. It's like, I don't mess with Tokyo Ghoul. I don't really mess with Black Clover, even though I'm hearing more and more that show's actually good. But I don't know, man. I haven't messed with it yet. It's one of those concepts that I'm not that into. Like, I wasn't even that into Seven Deadly Sins when it first aired.
Yeah.
But I got into it and it was alright, so I can give it that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at a certain point I might be able to get over the edginess of things. And I do hear that like the manga for Tokyo Ghoul and stuff do it a lot better. And you know, I was also watching the show dubbed, and yikes, big yikes, mega yikes,
big yikes.
So yeah, but Angels of Death was by far the edgiest show I've ever watched, and I would not go back ever. I don't know if there will be a show that hits me with so much anger the way that did in 2019.
Let me tell you though, if going back to some of our other ones, if Seven Deadly Sins came out in 2018, you know your boy's best girl would be Diane for sure.
Yeah.
That was my favorite character in that show, my man.
Would take over Saki?
Oh yeah, by far.
Damn.
By far, Diane's one of my, like, let's see. She's probably one of my top 10 female characters of all time.
Nice.
But yeah. Alright, enough about garbage anime. It's tainting my mind with all of the bad.
Alright, it is time to hop into the good, the goodest, the best, the bestest.
The bestest.
The best anime, which I think at this point, if you're sticking with yours and I'm sticking with mine, I think we can just go ahead and say it. And then we can just individually go through our nominees.
Yeah.
If that sounds cool with you. Devilman Crybaby, big surprise, but airing in January.
Yeah, I thought it was a 2017 anime when we were doing this, but
Yeah, the like very. I keep wanting to say it was the first week, but I just remember it was one of the first things I watched of the year because my friends and I were hanging out, and I remember my friend was like quietly saying the entire night, "Hey man, we gotta watch that Devilman," and I was like, "Devilman sounds stupid as fuck, dude. What is that?" And he was like, "Nah, man, it's sweet. It's kind of like Berserk." And then I remember he said it's kind of like Berserk like 4 times that entire night. And I was like, and then one of the times for some reason it just snapped with me. We were also drinking a little bit, so you know how that goes. And then I was like, wait a minute, did you say that it's like Berserk? And he was like, yeah, man, it's like Berserk. And then we hit every single one of the episodes. And I remember the first episode had the club scene going on, and I remember I looked at my friend Jeremy, and we're already into like some pretty intense shows and stuff, and we were just like, what did we just sign up for?
Yeah, dude, Devilman
And
was great.
it was incredible. And yeah, I kind of hit Snorlaxicus with, hey man, I know at this point, you know, young 2018 Scuba was like, hey dude, I know I don't watch a whole lot of anime, but I think you should watch that Devilman. And he was kind of doing the same thing I was doing that night. Like he was avoiding it, kind of like the Darling and the Franxx thing as well. Like he was like, man, I heard it's good, And then I remember one night he just watched the whole thing, and I remember him messaging me like, dude, that was so crazy. And you even rewatched it like a couple times, right?
I did, yeah. I watched it once with my girlfriend and then once with my friend Josh, which is Center Fear in the chat. He was in here earlier. I don't know if he's in here now, though. Yeah, show was great, man. Like, oh, God. Like, I know a lot of people... So, okay, I have a group of friends that I talk to online that are into anime. They're the group of friends that I went to Colossal Con earlier with. It's Rin, Dan, and Sammy, which some of them might be in the chat right now. But I remember talking to them when Devilman Crybaby came out, and I think it was Rin. He was like, yeah, dude, Devilman Crybaby isn't that good, but the original Devilman's really good. And I was like, oh, yeah? And this was when it was only like, oh, God. It was like when there were only a few episodes out. It was like before you had told me to watch it, and I hadn't started watching it yet. But he was like, Devilman Crybaby isn't that good. And I was like, huh. So I was like, oh, whatever. And then you told me to watch it, and I watched it, and I was like, yo, the biggest complaint was the art, but I felt like it had its own unique style toward the, like, end of it.
Yeah, I think that the art style is intentional and has, like, its own purpose. Like I know a couple dudes that were like specifically not watching it for the art style, and I was like, man, please, if you can just get through it, it's so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it does have like its wonky moments. Nothing like My Sister, My Rider, but like some moments where you're like, that doesn't feel like it scales right. But like, I don't know. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it might not be my favorite anime of all time, but it's in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I still got, my number 1 still gotta be Berserk. But
Yeah.
Devilman is up there.
I gotta give it that masterpiece, dude. 10 out of 10. I want to give a shout out to a couple others that I gave 10s. Wotakoi is a phenomenal show. I really can't recommend that more. It's a very, very relatable romantic comedy, and it's one that's focused on adults, so you can relate to it really well. Like, they go out for beers and stuff all the time, and it's cool because I haven't seen a lot of romantic comedies in general that like weren't focused on kids, where I had to like, age myself down just a little bit.
Yeah, regress to high school
was
years.
What was going on when I was in high school? Would I be about that noise? Yeah, I'd be about that noise. But yeah, a couple others. I gave My Hero Academia season 3 10 as well. I thought that was awesome. I didn't want to just give it anime of the year for me because it's just a season of it, and Devilman was just a creation. It was 10 episodes, had a purpose, executed it perfectly. When I think about the year as a whole, Devilman really hit me in a completely next level way. Also, Megalobox, Golden Kamuy, and Tanigawa Middle Management Blues. Tanigawa is really cool spin-off of Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. If you guys are into that or have wanted to get into that, it's just a comedy following Tanigawa from the first season of Kaiji.
Which is
it's a lot of fun.
Which is crazy because from what you were telling me, I still haven't watched Kaiji, but from what you were telling me, Kaiji is like super fucking serious all the time, and then Tanigawa is like a comedy.
Very rarely is Kaiji like comedic or anything beyond just gritty and intense, and Tanigawa really just is on that comedy shit from beginning to end. And it will still somehow catch you in the feels in the middle of being like, wait a minute, this is the fucking asshole from the first season of Kaiji, and I'm seeing him in like this comedic light doing these things like grilling, wearing a fucking grill apron and stuff. And I'm like, what? I can't believe I'm watching this.
It's like the apron says like "kiss the boss" or some shit like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I recommend all those. Golden Kamuy is super weird. You go into the show thinking it's about one thing, and then you sign yourself up for a whole bunch of absolute nonsense. I won't get into any details about that. If you want to get into it, definitely message me about it because it is sweet. I actually don't read a lot of manga, but I started to read that because I was so interested in it. And yeah, we already got into Megalobox, so that's it for like my group of damn perfect or damn near perfect anime.
Yeah, mine was a little bit smaller just because like there weren't a lot of shows out this season that I really liked. And like, me, man, like I'm super into horror shows. And like I've been saying for like months, man, we've been in a horror drought with anime. Like the last horror anime that was actually like good was Devilman. It was like we had there was what's that show called? It was the one with the girl who was super edgy in high school, and like she becomes a magical girl and she has to like shoot herself with this gun to become the magical girl. Anyways, yeah, that was horror. All right, I use heavy quotations, but it was really just like super edgy the whole time, and I didn't really like it that much. So like,
Sugar Life?
nah, Sugar Life was.
I can't remember the difference between either of those, but I didn't check them out, and I wanted to.
Yeah, they were decent. I mean, like nothing mind blowing. Devilman was really good. That was a show like like you said, it was a masterpiece. Um, for me, my nominations for best anime, uh, which you know this, no one else probably knows this, but you knew this. It was really, really, really hard for me to decide between if Devilman was gonna be the best anime or if Zombieland Saga was gonna be the best anime of the year for me. And that's because Zombieland Saga is the type of show that like I said earlier, I hate idol anime. I just hate I hate Love Live. I hate Idolmaster. I think those shows are just garbage. And Zombieland Saga took someone that hated idol shows like me and got me into watching an idol show. And honestly, like if your show is written that well that it can get someone from a completely different audience that hates that genre so much to watch it and actually like it, then you did something really good.
Yeah.
So that's why it was really tough for me. Devilman won out, but Zombieland was really close as a second, along with a lot of these on the list. Reincarnated as a Slime was another nomination I had. It needs to go a little bit more in depth. I've read ahead a little bit. But yeah, it's really, really good. I just want there to be more happening right now for me to call it like the best anime of the season.
Yeah, plus there's like 11 more episodes of it, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
As far as the best anime, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You can't.
Especially with Darling in the Franxx endings, we don't know if we're gonna say Slime is the best anime, and then all of a sudden, they're the thing.
Yeah, dude, I was like, Darling in the Franxx gonna be the best anime of the year, and then they hit me with the last 5 episodes. Damn, man. Anyways. Last nomination I had was My Hero Academia Season 3. Same reason that you gave. It's a really good show, really good series. That Season 3 opened up a lot of shit. So, that's why I had that nominated. But that wraps up my best anime nominations in winter.
And, yeah, I guess that'll about do it. You see it there, folks. That's everything that we have gathered from 2018. I do want to note that obviously there are some shows that I didn't get around to. Like, I didn't finish Violet Evergarden. I know that that's just fucking stupid of me to have done.
Yeah, I haven't even started it, dude.
Yeah, I'm like 5 episodes in. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and then like I think we got caught up in other shows, and we were moving in the middle of the year when we were watching it, so I didn't get to finish that. I still need to finish up Banana Fish and Planet With, and I know that all those shows are like really good, so I'm sure they would have been in some kind of category, at least as a nominee. But yeah, I watched a decent amount of stuff considering like I just heavy got into anime this year mostly. Like I was kind of like a Bebop, Chomplu, just like the powerhouses of Toonami and Adult Swim.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball. Yeah. There's like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, like I really loved those shows, but I didn't like get that into anime until My Hero Academia, and I watched a lot of shit. Like my anime list is crazy long just from stuff that I was watching this year. I went through four parts of JoJo's in a year.
Oh like, man,
Did 3 seasons of My Hero Academia while keeping up with like other shows from other years and seasons, and being able to complete this list. Like, yeah, I'm caught up in this anime
You
game,
you,
and
you went through 4 parts of JoJo in like a month, maybe not even a month, man.
yeah, dude, I could not stop watching that shit. I remember you had me watch like 5 episodes of JoJo's, and then I was like, that's pretty cool. And then out of nowhere, I was like, I think I'm gonna get back into JoJo's because I was seeing this part 5 hype, and then I was like, whoa, dude. I was stopping in part 1 made sense, but like I could not have done that with any other area. But yeah,
How's sorry, I'm diverting a little bit here, but how do you feel? It's kind of an asshole question, but how do you feel in JoJo that every character you've liked so far dies?
man. Yeah, it's like I will tell Snorlaxicus my characters I'm enjoying in JoJo's. Like, I'm like, oh man, this part I like this dude, and then like the next episode, I'm like messaging him, and I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, that dude died, so
I
never
remember
mind.
I remember at work one day you were like you were watching an episode and you finished watching it and you were like, man, I really, really, really like Caesar. I really hope he doesn't die. And then you put up the next episode and he died in
Yeah,
that episode.
and like it was building up that way, and I remember I was looking at you, and I was like, is this that moment? Is this that moment where my dude's about to go down? And then that's exactly what happened, and I was like, now, and then I think we got off work at that point, and I was like, all right, man, I have to drive home now. I had a 30-minute drive home to think about the fact that my favorite dude just died. My favorite dude from part 1 died. My favorite dude from part 3 died, and part 4. And no, my part 4 dude made it. So hey, check me out.
What, Kira?
Uh oh, well, yeah, okay, never mind.
I was like,
Never mind.
Kira's, he's got that spinoff where he's like a ghost assassin, but
Ghost Boy. But yeah, just yeah, okay. Well, we'll have a whole JoJo's podcast coming up soon, I'm sure. But that is gonna wrap it up for the Anime Awards. I do want to say we are planning on doing episode by episode on Promised Neverland. We want to do a podcast every Thursday, and kind of we'll probably throw in the Promised Neverland ones just on a random day in there. But that's a show we are really, really excited about for this year, and we have been wanting to do an episodic thing for a while, and I think that one's going to be perfect. And then as more shows come out, we're weighing out what we're all going to watch for the season that's airing right now, and then we're going to have our impressions probably around when the shows have 2 or 3 episodes.
yeah.
That way we kind of have like our base thoughts on everything. And yeah, so there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. You have anything else you want to add?
Not too much, just that next week we're going to be streaming on our YouTube channel, which is just Endless Boss Battle at YouTube. We couldn't this week because the YouTube has this stupid rule where you have to wait 24 hours before you can live stream, and I didn't do it until today. So yeah, we're moving everything over to YouTube primarily because it's the platform we keep all of our videos on. And I feel like we'll probably reach a bigger audience. In the works for a new banner for YouTube and Facebook page. Our Facebook page is the same name, Endless Boss Battle, just at Facebook. Each of us have our own Twitters, which are down here in the bottom. Mine's just at Snorlaxicus. His is at Scuba Dive. Just post random stuff, really.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Talked about the YouTube channel. Talked about Facebook. There's something else I feel like I'm missing. But yeah. that's about all I have to talk about, I think. But yeah, we're just moving over to YouTube. Oh yeah, I just remembered.
Got it.
Just came right back at me. We are looking to get our audio podcast VODs on Spotify. Trying to look at what the pricing is for that, how much it costs. If it's free, we're gonna do it for free. If not, I'm more than willing to pay for it as long as it's not something ridiculous.
Definitely, yeah. We really want those on Spotify. I think that'd be so cool as a milestone and visual progress.
Yeah.
Of where we're going.
But yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to new videos. We're talking about games. I just dropped my video on Splatoon. Scuba dropped his video of his 2018 awards that covered more than just anime.
Yeah, it was games, movies, and albums.
Yeah.
That I liked the 2018. So
yeah, so
kind of exciting.
You can check those out at our YouTube channel too. We got everything there. We're gonna be like Scuba said, we're gonna be doing podcasts coming up from now on. We're aiming to do them Thursdays at about 10:30, I'd say. That's probably gonna change come summertime because where we work later in the summer. So it may have to be like a morning thing or on a day that we don't work all the time. But for now, for the next few months, it's going to be Thursdays every day, or not every day, Thursdays every week at 10:30. So that's primarily where you can catch us, is at our YouTube channel. That's about all I have to say.
Yep.
I like how I preface that with, nah, man, I ain't got a lot to say, but like, here's like 3 paragraphs.
You got uppercutted by what you were trying to say, and then you were like, "Let's go! I got it."
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep you updated on everything we're doing. We're gonna keep up the YouTube videos. I do want to note, it's kind of important. It is just going to be Snorlaxicus and me on the channel. Yeah, not much else to say there, but we're dedicated. We're gonna definitely get a lot more content out there for you guys, and yeah, so for this week that'll cover it. Well, we should have the Promised Neverland one coming up in a couple of days, but other than that, we'll catch you next Thursday.
Yeah, man, down for that. See ya.